Keeping you informed. This is In.form on WBDC and 18 WJTS.
Hello and welcome to In.form, of course, here on 101 Country WBDC and 18 WJTS. I'm Kaitlyn Neukam, and today we're going to be talking about Purdue Extension, Dubois County. And, I was hashing it out before we got started here, and maybe Purdue Extension, Dubois County is something that you don't really know about. Maybe you've got kids in 4-H and you know a lot about it, but we're going to dive in deep to what all they do at the Extension office here in our local area, and with none other than the Executive Director, Chelsea Brewer. So good morning. How are you doing?
Hi, good morning. I'm doing wonderful. It's Friday. Yay.
Yes, it is Friday. cannot be more thankful for that. Yes. But we're going to talk about food, which is, a very hot topic here on WBDC. But before we do that, we're going to talk a little bit more about Purdue Extension. So, Chelsea, will you give us like a hint or a rundown of what Purdue Extension Dubois County does? Because I will spoil it. Your big thing in the summer is the 4-H fair, but what else do you guys do that really shapes our community here?
Yeah, so the fair is actually just one part of 4 parts that the Extension office is responsible for helping the community with. So we are actually an extension of the university. We have direct lines to university research and resources that we help to pull down into our local communities. So there is an Extension office in all 92 counties. So even if you happen to leave our beloved community, you're going to find the same resources no matter where you're at. The 4 program areas that we are responsible for providing to the community are health and human sciences, which is my program area. Love it. Could talk forever about it, but I'll move on. We've got agriculture and natural resources. So anything from farm management to what is this weird bug on my wall? I trapped it in a jar.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, you can bring it in and we'll help you figure out what it is. Then we've got our 4-H youth development, which is incredibly impactful for our youth change, right? We know that by getting engaged with kiddos early on, that we can really help to alleviate some of the fear that parents have in regards to youth and adolescent risk behavior, right? So by developing that good role model system, we really are helping them sort of flow into adulthood successfully. And then our last program area is community development, everything from leadership programs to helping with meeting facilitation so that, we can have really productive, growthful meetings. We can do programs such as Navigating Difference, which talks about cultural divide and how do we start opening our eyes to these implicit biases and really trying to grow our community and come together even more.
Right. And for those who may or may not know, because again, the Center on 5th is still fairly new so far as welcoming all these different community organizations, but you guys have your central office for the Dubois County Extension located at the Center on 5th, or the former 5th Street School, right?
Yes, exactly. So for anybody who doesn't know what the former 5th Street School is, find the beautiful ocean mural, and that's where we are. You can come around back towards the football field, door number 4. We have a direct buzzer. You'll get to talk to one of us in the office.
Very good. Could you imagine, when you moved to the Center on 5th, that you'd be right next to the ocean, not too far away in rural Indiana?
Oh, I love it. I love it. I don't get to see the ocean often enough, so I can just imagine the sea spray when I come to work.
And that's something that maybe some people are envious of. I know I am. But we're here to talk about more of the nutrition stuff and what you guys have going on so far as programming. And, although it seems like this new year has already been forever ago that we started the new year, it is still the new year in the sense that you can start becoming healthy or giving yourself better habits no matter when you start in the year. So with that, nutrition comes hand in hand, and you guys are actually offering some more like nutrition or mindfulness exercises per se on food, I guess. Food culture. I don't know.
Yeah.
You've got a fancy term for it.
Oh,
So
I love
the
term food culture. I'm definitely going to steal that. I love that. So March is actually National Nutrition Month. So I felt like this was the perfect time to come in and just sort of do a little refresher. New year, new you doesn't actually exist because we can become a new us whenever we feel like it. Right. We don't have to wait till January, and we don't have to sort of set that limitation on ourselves. So knowing that March is National Nutrition Month, I thought I would share a little bit about what the science and the research says about good nutrition. It's really hard because if you go on any single social media, the internet in general, you are bombarded with everybody telling you that they know exactly how you need to eat to cure whatever it is that you want to cure, fix, change about yourself. And everybody has something, right? Like,
right.
It's inherent. We have something.
And everybody's like, oh, I'm an expert at this because this worked for me. But in the same vein, you shouldn't just trust this one source you found online just because one person said it. And B, not every one specific thing works for every individual. So having different options and knowing the educational side of the thing is just as important.
Exactly. So that's what we do as Purdue, right? So everything I tell you is backed by science. It's not something that is trending or a current fad, right? Everything has long history of scientific proof before I'm going to share it with you. And so one of the things that we have found through science to be effective, and actually it is the only way of eating that is effective at reducing our chronic disease. So thinking coronary artery disease, our risk for stroke, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, cancer, Alzheimer's disease, all of these things that we think of getting later in life, is the Mediterranean eating pattern. Okay, so that is the only scientifically proven way to eat that is going to help reduce the prevalence and also prevent the development of those certain chronic diseases.
Interesting. And again, as I will give them the stipulation as well that, before we started talking, I heard Mediterranean. I'm like, oh, so fish diet. But you said, no, this is much different than what maybe some people think. Because again, those snap words, you think you know what it is. But again, this is backed by science. So understanding these, the actualities of it is just as important.
Yes. Yeah, we did have that combo. and I have that conversation with people a lot because they immediately think Greek.
Right.
And they immediately think I'm going to have to eat a lot of olives and I'm going to have to eat feta cheese. And you're going to tell me I can't have steak anymore. And what I'm here to tell you is that is absolutely not true. Yay! I'm going to tell you, you can eat literally anything you want. I don't care if you go home and have a giant bowl of ice cream. It fits in the Mediterranean eating pattern. There is room for every single food that we enjoy in this eating pattern. It's more about paying attention. So that's where the mindfulness comes in. So paying attention, and we give suggestions on how to add, right? So we're never restricting, we're always adding. And when you add things in, inherently, you have to leave some other things off. So that's where the change in the eating pattern comes from, is by adding things that we like and enjoy.
Right. And again, I'm thinking in a mindfulness sense as how you're mindful with your mental health and whatnot. You kind of have to be intuitive and really shape how your diet is with this type of thing, right? Whatever goes in, you got to watch what comes out. And like, you just have to be aware of what you're putting in your body at all times, I would hope. But at the same time, again, it is a balancing act, right?
It absolutely is a balancing act. And I love that you use the word intuitive, because there is a science emerging and a form of therapy called intuitive eating.
Oh.
Right. So we have lost touch with our body's intuitive signals. We no longer pay attention to when we're hungry and when we're not hungry. So we set these rules and these limitations and these boundaries on ourselves. And that's where we get into trouble with our mental health, right? Yeah. So our brain starts to control our hunger instead of our stomach controlling our hunger, right? So when our brain controls our hunger, we go into these dips of guilt and shame. And so then we end up binging. We feel guilty. Yeah. And we say, I'm never, ever going to eat that entire bag of Reese's eggs ever again. And then we break as soon as we have one, and we eat the entire bag again because we don't give ourselves permission to eat all the foods that we love and enjoy.
Right.
And so we do talk about that some in this class called Steps to a Healthy You, about giving yourself permission to have the Reese's egg, because when you take the mystical pedestal away from it, you take it off the pedestal and that permission to have a Reese's egg when I want a Reese's egg, then I don't eat the whole bag and I don't feel deprived.
Right. And something I heard here recently is that you are supposed to enjoy what you eat, which is, mind blowing to think with all these fad diets and all these other things going on. You are allowed to enjoy what you eat and also be mindful about what goes in your body to give yourself nutrition, because again, it's going to affect your mood, it's going to affect mental health, it's going to affect how you feel and live and all of that stuff. So being mindful with that is very important, and that's why you guys have these classes. So will you tell us a bit more about, what we need to know about these nutrition classes, maybe some other things that Purdue has going on that, if we want to sign up, maybe details on that as well?
Yeah. So our two most frequent nutrition classes that you'll find me offering are either Steps to a Healthy You or Food as Medicine. Now, they both talk about the Mediterranean style of eating. Food as Medicine is usually I have a little extra funding from some beautiful donor who wanted to give me funding, and I send people home with food bags.
Oh.
Yeah, so you get to actually take the food home and try a recipe that we're discussing or that we've maybe prepared together in class at your own leisure. Right. So that's the difference between the two classes. Steps to a Healthy You is still the Mediterranean eating pattern. We're still going to eat food together because never will you ever leave my class hungry. But I just don't have funding to send you home with food.
Of course.
Yeah. So both of them are multiple weeks, usually 4 to 5 weeks, and we're going to spend an hour to 2 hours together depending on sort of when the class is happening and the structure of the class. But so far we have been doing this program this is our second year doing this program, and everybody has spoken about how transformative it is.
Really?
Because we really, really break it down to, here are some guidelines. However, there are no food police. I'm not going to show up at your house and be like, Kaitlyn, now what did you eat for breakfast? Right?
Now that'd be very intimidating.
There are no food police. There are no rules. So let's just explore and have fun together within this realm of nutrition and try and find some new things that we like that we also know are feeding our body and feeding our soul, because they're both important.
Very much so. And again, I'm glad to hear that you're not going to come find me and track me down if I have one extra, piece of cake one day, no shame in that. Again, having that balance and knowing, hey, if I had this nice treat as a treat today, maybe we work on something a little healthier tomorrow, and having that knowledge. And again, this course is meant to leave people with that understanding and be able to do better in future endeavors when it comes to nutrition and food. Do you have a age range that you're looking for and like registration requirements, I guess?
There is no age range. Anybody is welcome to come to either the Steps to a Healthy You or Food as Medicine. If they are younger than 18 and looking to learn these, we do ask for an adult guardian to come with them.
Right.
That's the only stipulation.
Fair enough. And is there costs associated with the programs, either one of them?
For Steps to a Healthy You, it is $40, just because, again, I don't have that sponsor. So we do have to help cover the cost of food as we operate at Purdue Extension as a non-for-profit.
Right.
So I don't get an operating budget. I have to create that operating budget through donations. So in that instance, we do ask for a little bit of a program fee recovery. And then for Food as Medicine, that program fee is covered by the donor.
Right. And again, you could be spending that money in the grocery store and not really knowing how you're going to spend it, and maybe not knowing the nutritional value in the things that you're choosing. Or you could learn something and get the food that comes with it and have that to take with you. So I would say it's a bargain.
I mean, $40 for 5 weeks, that's $8.
Right.
You can't eat anywhere for $8, but I'm gonna feed you for $8, right?
That's a pretty good selling point too. I think that's again, as a young adult in today's world, planning for what I'm gonna make and like what food I'm gonna take to work and all that stuff, it's very very overwhelming sometimes. So having something like this would be a very good place to start. Maybe make yourself more food conscious and have that I like being a prepared person. So being prepared with whatever as you go into your weeks and whatnot, maybe just would make people a little less stressed.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the goal too.
We talk about meal planning, we talk about food prep, we talk about the social aspect of eating and how important that is. We talk about physical activity and reading nutrition labels, right? So this is more than just me standing in front of you going, you should eat less saturated fats and more omega-3s. And it's really, let's talk about being a person and how do we navigate being a person, because it's hard.
Yeah, being a person is difficult, can say from experience. But again, at least you bring that human aspect to it too, because you can be lecturing or you could be experiencing something and learning it while you go. Chelsea, if we want to sign up, like say we get off this interview and I myself want to go sign up right away, where would you go? How would you sign up and register for either of these courses?
Yeah, so our next Steps to a Healthy You is coming up in April, and we're actually trying something different over lunchtime.
Ooh.
So it'll be from 11:30 to 12:30 Tuesdays in April at the Dubois County Health Department. They have a brand new education room, so we're going to take advantage of that. Registration will launch next week, so pay attention to our social media as well as our website, and you can find all of those. Of course, you can always call us 812-482-1782, and we'll help you out.
Very good. And if anyone has any questions about the upcoming 4-H fair or maybe some other nutrition things that you offer, or just to want to see all the different avenues of education that Purdue Extension Dubois County offers, the website would be a good place to start, right?
Yeah, the website would be a great place to start. We try and keep it as up to date as possible. We're also fairly active on our Facebook page, so if you ever want to know what we're up to, check out our Facebook page. We send out a newsletter every other month that also has all of our upcoming programs. And if you're a 4-H family, it's got important dates in it. So definitely, if you're on that list, read those newsletters. We would love that. If you're not on the list, send us your email and we'll get you on the list. It's got great info in it.
Very good. And again, all science backed, so can't put the mark on it enough. Chelsea, as always, it's a pleasure to have you in and to learn a little bit something new about what Purdue Extension Dubois County does. And again, maybe I need to look into this Mediterranean thing that you keep referencing.
I would love to have you.
Very good. But again, we appreciate your time and, look forward to all the things Purdue Extension has going on in our area, little area here in Dubois County.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kaitlyn.
Thank you. And you have been listening and watching your In.form program, of course, right here on 101 Country, WBDC, and 18 WJTS. Again, you can visit Purdue Extension online in person. You can give them a phone call. You can visit them on social media. If you want to visit them online, you can just search extension.purdue.edu, and you can search by county and look for that Dubois County Extension office. And this has been with the the Purdue Extension Dubois County.
This has been In.form on WBDC and 18 WJTS. Catch past episodes on our social media pages and our websites. If it matters to you, it matters to us. In.form.